students, myself Kumar Ujjwal, I welcome you all for APSC interview classes as well as mock test. First, let me congratulate all the candidates who have qualified for the interview. Now it's a maker or breaker stage, and you cannot afford to have any laxity because you have worked hard to crack prelims and main. Now it is a decisive stage which will change your career. So time is less because 913 posts are there, and today is 3rd November. Yesterday result was declared, and the interview is going to start from 16th of November. Let me clarify that most of the institutions only conduct mock test, but we also give certain classes for interview which is common, uniform, required for all, and then we go for mock test. Individual specific tips, your strength or weaknesses will be ascertained and judged, so that you can take prior corrective measures before you appear on the D-Day. So without wasting time, let me start with the content itself, which is ultimately serve your utility and maximize your marks. Now you must make most of it. So many times you go to interview and you are being asked, have you come for the interview? Then you say yes, and then it is being asked that what is interview, define interview. And many students find problem in defining interview itself. So let me clarify that interview is the formal meeting. It's not an informal meeting. You are not meeting a friend. You are going for formal meeting. So interview is a formal meeting, number one. So you must have formal dress, you must have formal regalia or etiquettes. Second, the purpose of interview is to ascertain the personality of the candidate and suitability for the job you are going for. Suitability is very, very important. In civil services, your democratic approach, your flexibility, your ability to think in deep is appreciated. If you are going for military and in interview, your firmness is the first criteria. If you are going for interview in corporates, then smartness would be given priority. So different organizations have different priorities, different mission, different vision, and your suitability must be as per the requirement. So personality involves not only verbal expression, what you express, is also involves non-verbal expression. Non-verbal expression, that is your body language, your eye contact, your confidence level, your honesty. Many times deliberately interviewers asked very tough question. When you continuously give answers, then they may ask a very tough question in between to test the honesty, whether you are honest enough to say that I failed to recall. Sorry. So that honesty is also being tested, because it's not expected that you know each and everything of this world, and many times deliberately they are being asked, putting you in troubled situation. So whether you are being provoked or not, whether you lose your patience or maintain the cool, it is also being tested. It is part of personality. So interview is a formal meeting with the purpose to ascertain the personality of the candidate as well as to see the suitability of the job. So as far as Assam Public Service Commission is concerned, naturally state specific questions would be dominant. In UPSC, you will find more questions on national and international affairs, but at the same time, interview is very individual specific. Interview your hobbies. Your hobbies may not be different, would be different from hobby of other students or other candidates. Your district, your place, soil of your place, where to which you belong to, the agriculture, the industries of your place, the representatives of your place, bureaucracy at your place, problems of your area. So, you must have framework in mind. If you have framework in mind, you will have peace of mind also. You will be confident that what are the area from where question has been asked. So, for that reason, I will discuss the area from where the questions are being asked. First, you belong to certain village, locality or city or semi-urban area. So, history, geography, specialties, problems, possible solutions, representatives, potential of your village, your city, how you explain. Most of the questions in interview are not factual. Some questions are factual, but most of the questions are opinion based, what you think. So, it is not a question of true and false, it is a question of right and wrong. And you have to certain times take a stand, sometimes you have to moderate by giving both views, and sometimes you have to give your own views. But your views should not be random. If you find any problem at any point of time in interview to take a stand, then just I give a four pillar formula. First is constitution, the supreme law. Nobody can deny the supremacy of our law, constitution. So, if you are fortifying your argument by referring constitution, you are right. You cannot be wrong. Second, judgment of Supreme Court. There is finality of decision of the Supreme Court as per Article 141, 142, 144, 136. So, if you are referring to judgment of Supreme Court to fortify your answer and to take a stand, then you are always right. Third is democracy, because many times you have to take a stand, you have to give views. You cannot say this is also correct, this is also correct. There are both sides of the coin, pros and cons, both are there. In most of the cases, both sides are there. But sometimes you have to take a stand, your view. So, in that case, you can refer democracy, as democracy has universalized, and we are in democracy, and as a bureaucrat, you will be a neutral bureaucrat in liberal democracy, multi-party democracy. In single party system, there is committed bureaucracy. Bureaucrat must be committed to the political ideology of the one party which is ruling, and there is no difference between party decision and that of government decision. But in India, we are liberal democracy, multi-party democracy, we have neutral bureaucracy, not committed bureaucracy. And you are going to become bureaucrat. Bureau means office, cracy means rule. So, rule of office, and higher grades of bureaucrats are called civil servants. SSC also recruit group C officers. They are officers, they are bureaucrats, but they are not civil servant. But All India services, IAS, IPS, Indian Forest Service is a civil service exam. Then group A, group B, they are coming under civil services. Moreover, in technical also you will find so many posts of civil services. So, first is village, city, then your block or district, history, geography, soils, resources, problems, potential, specialties, famous personalities of your district, present administration, present representatives. You must be vigilant, you must be aware. In Assam PSC, the trend is that most of the questions are being there in relation to your city, district, state. No doubt, it is a state civil service commission. So, there will be dominance of the questions pertaining to the state. For example, the government of Assam has cracked on the child marriages. It has also issued order for government employee not to go for second marriage without government permission. And it is also moving towards uniform civil code. NRC was always the issue and has been the issue in relation to Assam. Then all chronology of things you need to know, the history of Assam, the post-independence Assam, how Naga issues emerged and Nagaland was, Naga area was part of Assam, how Assami language was declared as the sole official language in 1960 and what were its repercussions, what was Assam Accord 1985 and how constitutional amendment was done in 1986 to amend citizenship laws to add 6A, Article 6A. So state is very specific, and then nation state, of course, you are belonging to India, so questions relating to India would be always important. And current occupies central position in your interview. Many times you will find that interviewers ask question from the contents of the newspaper on the same day or couple of days back. So around interview you have to thoroughly go through newspaper. That is very, very important. But let me clarify, don't get overburdened, otherwise you will become nervous. It will compromise your performance. If you are keep on studying till last moment, it will be disastrous. My advice, what I have seen from my 21 years of experience in Delhi, that what we have seen, that you must be cool and composed. You should not presume that you have to answer each and every question, and you should not skip opinion based question, and you should not lie in factual question. So I will be discussing the nature of the questions as well, because as I said, one part is required for all, uniform, for all aspirants who are going to appear in interview, and second would be your individual specific, that will be judged through mock test. So you just watch this class repeatedly and get registered in Takshila School of Civil Services, which is located in GS Road, Guwahati, Shillong Road, in Dispur itself, supermarket area. So once you get the class, once you get the mock, because time is very less and it is a maker or breaker stage, as I said, so you should not leave stone stone unturned. But at the same time, don't go for rigorous study just before the interview. Means on that day you should be relaxed. You must read the newspaper in a relaxed mode. You should be cool and composed, and the nation state, the various questions relating to nation state, like those issues which are dominantly being discussed around, like uniform civil code, the electoral bonds, these issues are being coming. Then privileges of member of parliament under Article 105, these issues are being very much there. Then the questions being asked against cash and Mahua Moitra case. So all those things you have to be updated. It is expected from you that you are vigilant, you are prepared, you are aware, you keep track of all important national, international issues, whether it's political, social, economic, cultural. So if you are clear about the framework, then you will have ease of appearing in interview, and your ease will help in maximizing the marks. Next is international affairs. So questions from international affairs, international politics, international economy, international governance, global governance. So one question would be definitely relating with the globalization, the process of globalization. So you must be very much clear that you are living in an era of hyper globalization, with time space contraction, with freer movement of goods, services, capital, technology, labor and ideas. It is integration of domestic economy with the world economy, and intensification of trans-border connectivity with comparative advantage of production, and all these basics you must be knowing of contemporary hyper globalization. So international affairs, be it Ukraine war, be it Gaza-Israel standoff, or be it other issues like G20, when India was the host of it. So all those things related with it, Chandrayaan. So they are very much expected. New parliamentary building, they are very much related to India, and also that new parliamentary building will come here. But India G20 hosting is coming under international affairs. So India's foreign policy, the changes and continuity in our foreign policy, realism in our foreign policy, pragmatism in our foreign policy, de-hyphenation in relation to Palestine and Israel, all these issues are very, very important, and you must be updated on this. And in mock interview, we will be definitely asking those probable questions you will be exactly facing in interview. So this is one framework. There are so many frameworks you must be knowing about the different frameworks. One, this framework is there, that which area from where the question is asked. Second framework is question can be asked from political sphere or administrative sphere or economic sphere or social sphere or cultural sphere or religious sphere, current issues. So you must have categorization that if political issues are being asked, that means the role of state, the role of government, the role of laws, the role of constitution, the role of civil society, individuals and different organizations of the government, that will definitely be there. If it is administrative, then bureaucracy, civil services, and what are the behavioral traits that is expected from civil servant, that may be also asked. Max Weber theory of bureaucracy, you must be knowing. If questions relating to economic sphere, then you must be knowing that it involves agriculture, industries, infrastructure, currency, banking, finance, commerce, demand, supply, production, distribution, consumption, all those issues would be. If questions relating to social issues, then women, old age people, children, vulnerable sections, SCs, ST, OBC, differently abled, LGBTs, and the recent judgment of Supreme Court that right to marriage is not an unqualified right, it's not a natural and fundamental right, reversing its earlier judgment. So you have to keep track of all those issues, social issues, cultural issues relating to art, architecture, language, literature, values, beliefs, perceptions, orientations. Culture has two parts. Culture, many people, this question has been asked by UPSC also. What is culture, what is civilization, how they are interlinked. So culture is all aspects of society having both static and dynamic aspect. Static and dynamic aspect. As a static aspect, culture is marker of identity, like caste, religion, race, physiognomic features, DNA, color. They are static features of the culture, while values, beliefs, perceptions, orientations, they are dynamic aspect, way of life. And it also involves art, architecture, language and literature. An advanced stage of culture is called civilization, like pre-Harappan rural culture and mature Harappan urban civilization. Advanced stage of culture, materially advanced, educationally advanced, socially advanced stage is civilization. So you must be clear about the sub parts, that only I am saying culture. So you must know the framework, that what are the components of it. If I am saying economic, if I am saying social, if I am saying religious. So in religion, the aspects like spiritualism, aspects like concept of God, aspects like your karmas, aspects like life after death, aspect after the present life, aspect about your identity, your journey inside. So aspect about ritualistic aspect also, an aspect relating to communalism, identity politics. So you should be very much clear about the framework. If you are clear about framework, then you will have peace of mind. You are knowing that from which area examiner has asked the question. So you will be more systematic because you are knowing the subcomponents, subdivisions or subtopics within the topic. So you will be systematically dealing with that. Many times you are knowing many things, but on spot due to nervousness or due to pressure of performance, what is there that you are not performing up to the mark. So many students might have hesitation, they might not have systematically, professionally prepared for interview. So they might have hesitation, they might have good personality and knowledge, but at the same time their presentation may be weak. Different candidates may have different problems. But don't worry about it, whatever will be the problem. The point is how you take corrective measures and how you perform your best in interview and get selected, because your success is our success. How we define our success? Our success is your success. If you are successful, we will proudly say that, see, our students have qualified the exam. Now they are in the higher echelons of decision making. They will be joining the administration. They are joining the steel frame of India, and they are running the country and the state. So the framework should be clear. And I also highlight the kinds of questions which are being asked. You should be very types of questions which are being asked. You should be very clear about it. Types of questions which are being asked in exam of civil service, in interview of civil services, be it Assam PSC, be it UPSC. So one is factual question, which is rare, but you cannot rule out the possibility of factual questions. In factual question, if you are sure, then only go for it. If you are not sure, don't give wrong information. Saying I don't know is better than giving wrong information, because the moment you give wrong information deliberately, intentionally or unintentionally, then your the impression will go that you are hoodwinking, you are befooling interview board. They are mature people. They are so much seasoned, they are so much experienced, and honesty is the best policy always. So in factual question, if you are not sure, you must say I don't know. There is no, you should not be shy, you should not feel embarrassed, because no person on this earth can claim that he or she is knowing each and everything of the world. And you know, there is no defined syllabus of interview. There is defined syllabus of prelims. There is defined syllabus of mains, but there is no defined syllabus of interview, because interview can ask from your very person specific things, your hobbies. If you are saying that my hobby is to play cricket, you should not be casual. You must be updated regarding cricket, the present World Cup going on, the size of the pitch, the weight of the ball, wickets, height, long on, long off, forward short leg, leg spin, off spin, dusra, googly. You must be knowing about them. If your hobby is playing cricket, then you must be knowing. If your hobby is to play table tennis, you must know that tennis ball, table tennis ball is made up of cellulose nitrate, and you must be knowing about the dimensions of table. If your hobby is gardening, as in Northeast what we have seen that people have hobbies of gardening, so you must be very much clear, because the various plants, why you like such particular plant. Your hobby is gym, then aerobic, anaerobic exercise. Means it's not that hobby you are just to say. They want to judge that whatever hobby you have, whether you are able to explain the things in a convincing manner or not. Because ultimately, as an administrator, You have to convince people around. Dealing with the people is difficult and more subjective than dealing with the machines. So a mechanical engineer is dealing with the machines, whose machines behavior is quite uniform. But in human relationship, behavior is quite differential and different, and you have to deal with different kinds of personalities, with different behavior, with different situation, and in that it's not only knowledge, is experience based applied knowledge which is more important. So factual questions, then opinion based question. Opinion based question, you must go for it. And if you have any problem in taking an opinion, like on issue of reservation, certain sensitive or controversial questions are there, like what is your opinion on caste based reservation, what is your opinion on caste survey, or what is your opinion on entry 69 of union list for census. So on those questions you have to be very balanced, and you have to refer constitution, because even judiciary while giving judgment refer to article 16(4), article 46, article 335 for giving judgment on such issues. So in opinion based question you have to take a stand, although you can moderate that stand, that there are certain limitations of this stand also, there are pros and cons of this issue also, but in opinion based question your democratic personality is being reflected, and you cannot say that I personally like fascism, Nazism, it is my opinion. In such cases you will be penalized. Sometimes you have to go for value judgment, and as I said, 4 pillars you have to use for fortification. Number 1, constitution, the supreme law. Number 2, the judgment of Supreme Court. Number 3, democracy. And number 4, Gandhism. In India, by and large, there are criticism of Gandhism, there are critics of Gandhi, no doubt. By and large, these 4 pillars will help you definitely to take a stand with confidence. Many times you are skeptical that if I give such opinion, they may think otherwise. You should avoid partition stand on party politics, and you should talk more in terms of government policy, the opposition, rather than pinpointing a particular individual politician unless it is being asked. If it is asked, then you have no choice. But you deliberately should not name a particular politician or particular MLA or MP, or not to become individualistic, more policy based. Then third type of question is hypothetical question. If you become Chief Minister of Assam, what steps you will take? You are going to become bureaucrat. You are not going to become Chief Minister at this point of time, at least. So this is a hypothetical question, that if you become Prime Minister of India, if I were the king, what I will be doing, what you will be doing. So definitely you must have certain priorities in your mind. You must have certain out of box things in your mind which may impress interview board. If you say no, whatever government is going is perfect, there is 100%, there is no scope of improvisation, and I don't have any suggestion or innovative solution. So for what purpose you are going for it? The administration? You must bring a change. The existing people are so good, no doubt. They are working hard, no doubt. But at the same time, you also will make the difference. So you must be clear about your priorities, about the lacunas in existing policies, programs, projects, planning. So in this particular context, opinion based question, hypothetical question, then situation based question, situational. that if you are going through a flight and terrorists hijack the flight, what you will do? Will you go for heroic action? Will you sit idle and do nothing, wait and watch? Or will you vigilant and try to communicate, coordinate as per the situation and opportunities? And sometimes hasty action is required. So if communal riots are going on, then you don't have time to think, you have to disperse the crowd as an administrator. But sometimes you have time. So once you have time, you can take a more informed, balanced and dynamic decision which will help in resolving the crisis. So you are there to solve the problem. The differentiate should not become dispute, dispute should not become conflict, conflict should not convert into violence. So for that reason you are joining administration. So situational question, there can be n number of situations, awkward situation, favorable situation, unfavorable situation, how you are dealing with, that is very important. So this is fourth kind of questions which is being asked. Sometimes controversial question. Controversial question, you have to be very much careful, be it reservation, be it communalism, be it temple issue, be it sensitive issues, issues, or be it Maratha reservation, or be it Jat reservation issue. So they are quite sensitive and controversial. So in controversial question, my suggestion is not to take extreme stand, just moderate your answer. Just try to give both pros and cons. Many times a student asks, what should be length of our answer? So length of the answer depends upon the question asked. If the question is factual, length of the answer would be definitely small, because they are not asking 10 facts in one go. They will be mostly asking 1 or 2 facts at one point of time in one question. So your answer also, length of your answer depends upon the type of the question. If it is open-ended question, then length would be more, because they are not specifying that highlight the social aspect of globalization, highlight the economic aspect of globalization. This is not open-ended question, this is closed-ended question, means you have to highlight only economic aspect if it is being asked. You have not to go for social aspect, cultural aspect, other aspect. So the whole point is that you should be very much clear about the length of the answer.